You ever realize that the more you heal, the more people start treating you like the enemy? You ain't even said nothing slick, but your silence made them mad. Your peace irritated their demons. Your growth made them question their own choices. And instead of rising with you, they turned on you. That's what happens when you outgrow people who made an identity out of staying broken. Welcome to the Powerfully You podcast. I'm your host, Sharita. I help emotionally wounded, spiritually curious people heal from trauma and reclaim their voice so that they can stop people pleasing, start living their truth, and turn their pain into power. Today's episode, they hated my healing, the pain of outgrowing people who stay broken. And if your heart's been heavy from realizing that the people you love the most didn't really love you, they just loved having you beneath them, this one's for you. Your healing became a mirror. Let's keep it all the way real. People don't always want to heal. They want relief. They want comfort. But actual healing, that shit requires accountability. It requires facing your own reflection and saying, damn, I've been the one hurting others. So when you start healing, getting healthier, setting boundaries, speaking your truth, not overgiving, it triggers people who stay committed to dysfunction. They see you changing, and instead of clapping, they start side eyeing because your growth reminds them that they could have changed too, but they didn't. And now, instead of owning that, they make you the villain. You're selfish. You're too much. You think you're better. No, you just finally realized your worth, and they can't exploit what you don't give anymore. Grieving who you thought they were. Now let's talk about your side of this. The guilt, the grief, the loneliness of healing. You didn't just outgrow people, you outgrew the fantasy you had about who they could be. You wanted them to win. You wanted them to get off drugs. You wanted them to go to therapy. You wanted them to love themselves like you love them. And they call that judgment. You weren't judging, you were hoping. But hoping ain't welcome in households where people learn to survive by numbing. So they made you feel like you were wrong for wanting more, wrong for being a truth teller, wrong for saying, we don't have to live like this. And eventually you start believing it. You shrank, you got quiet, you made yourself smaller to avoid being too much. But let's be clear, they were comfortable as long as you were broken with them. You didn't abandon them, you chose to. Let's reframe this right now. You didn't leave them behind. They stopped walking with you. You invited them to heal, but they chose comfort. You reached out, but they chose their patterns. You softened, but they hardened. That's not your failure, that's their fear. And while it hurts, it's also divine protection. Because your healing isn't just about you, it's about breaking change for the next generation. And sometimes the price of that liberation is being misunderstood by the ones you love the most. But you didn't betray them. You finally stopped betraying yourself. Devil's advocate. But that's your family, your people. You shouldn't just cut them off. Let's talk about it. Yes, they're your family. Yes, you love them. Yes, it hurts like hell to watch them suffer. But here's what nobody tells you. Loyalty should never cost you your soul. You can love people and still have distance. You can care deeply and still walk away. You can be a cycle breaker without being a sacrificial lamb. You're not abandoning them. You're refusing to abandon yourself for them. That's not selfish. That's sacred self-preservation. Reflective moment. Let's slow it down right here. Ask yourself, who did I have to shrink for just to feel safe in the room? Where have I confused loyalty with self-sacrifice? What am I grieving that no one ever apologized for? What parts of me am I reclaiming now that I am no longer staying small? Take a breath. Your soul has more space now. Final soul truth. You are not the villain for healing. You are not the problem because you changed. You are not too much for finally choosing yourself. They hated your healing because it exposed their avoidance. They feared your growth because it challenged their excuses. But guess what? You didn't come here to stay broken. so others could stay comfortable. You came here to rise. You came here to remember who you are. You came here to be powerfully you. That's it for today, y'all. If this episode cracks something open in you, if it reminds you that your healing isn't the problem, but the proof that you're rising, then take that truth and let it sit in your bones. You don't owe your suffering to nobody. You don't have to stay broken so that they feel whole. You have permission to grow, to grieve, to glow, even if it makes them uncomfortable. And no matter who walks away, remember this. You didn't lose them, you found you. Keep healing, keep trusting, keep being powerfully you. Same truth, same soul, same you. And I'll see you on the next video.